Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more match play commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the bald gnome with the dome, the highwayman, Kaiju King, TJ.
I had no, it's gone. I had an idea, something to say, and it instantly left me. It's okay. Hello, hi.
But we've got some more Booster 2.0 match play for you guys. These were filmed over at Sully's Abode, which is the local card shop that we go to every Thursday for Digi. We pop off at about 6:30 p.m. Like I said, every Thursday. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, want to check us out or want to check the shop out, they are located in Bolingbrook. And they've been a great support system for us. They've fostered our community over the past couple years, so it's been great to be a part of it with them. And I'll drop their TCG player link down in the video description below, along with their socials, which will have our Discord, Instagram, all that good stuff. So check those out as well. Today's matchup features myself on the left playing good old Mirage, going up against Anthony, who's playing his old good old faithful with Machinedramon. So sort of a matchup that I think we're seeing a little bit of like text here and there as we see sort of the new set come out. I wouldn't necessarily say they're like brand new archetypes, right? Both decks have been around for a long time now, but it is interesting to see sort of new variants come up with the new set as new support comes out. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this one. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Without further ado, let's hop right into this bad boy.
Dude, I love watching Anthony cook with Machine. It's such a joy to experience. Like, the dude's like just giga creative and just comes up with all these like little neat texts that you can do with it, and like he just tries everything out, and it's just awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, he is a chef, that's for sure.
Yeah. See you starting. That's pretty good. Go right to a Zishui.
Yeah, I like Zishui. I know not a lot of decks are running Zishui because it's sort of like, you really don't play out level 4s per se with Mirage, but in this particular scenario, I do like it because it has jamming. You always want jamming in your stack, particularly going into Huang Kun as we see here, because Huang Kun can be vulnerable, but if we do play out a level 3 off of Huang Kun's effect, gain the memory, gain the draw, and then we go into Hexablow to get rid of the Analog Man. So a pretty solid turn 2.
Very solid. And you have a pretty good board state established. Hexablow does stop any swings from that Uko there as well, which is really, really nice. You see you're able to just kind of start setting up another stack already in the back with the Madoki.
Yeah, and this is where I do see why people do like the new like Huang Kun tech, because you are able to just get more bodies out on board. You don't necessarily have to rely on just your typical like one stack OTK strategy, which granted you still try to do regardless, but this gives you alternative ways of like doing things, sort of similar to what like Galaxy would do, right?
Now, is there a reason you didn't try and go for
the second check,
the Unsuspend, to get 2 more checks?
So I'm probably gonna get flamed in the comments for it. I'm already hearing it. I think the more I thought about it and the more I probably will watch this matchup, I played a little bit conservatively, because reason 1 being I was just like, I was afraid of hitting more stuff out of security. Number 2, I also wanted to just like threaten the Zudo ace and see if Anthony would maybe slow down a little bit. But I think hindsight thinking, I was like, he has so many ways to de-digivolve and pop and just like blitz that I probably should have just swung the unsuspend and brought him down to like 1 security as opposed to 3, which, if he sets up a wall, 1 security versus 3 security is a huge difference.
Yeah, he does just clear both bodies there as well.
So that puts me in a very tough spot.
Yeah, I think against Machine, I think you're always better opting out to just go for aggression, because they're a deck that takes some time, and so the longer you give them, you're just giving them more power, right? Like, you're just giving them more time to do what they want to do.
Yeah, I think I opted to play a little bit too conservatively, I think. But, I mean, I think I am also trying to test out this Huang Kun package, which is a little bit newer for me. I'm kind of straying away from the regular Makaos and seeing how things work. We do go into a Huang Kun here for 3. We play out the Madoki, which would have been nice to see last turn. But
yeah,
we Hexablow once again. get rid of the sources. Unfortunately, still has a source, so I can't get rid of the tamer, but we at least, I think, buy ourselves another turn here.
Yeah, you strip it down pretty good.
The only concern I had was like, well, if he just finds a Chaos X, I'm in trouble.
Right, which is not too hard of a thing for Machine to do.
Right.
He will pitch a card to draw a card and gain a memory. Go in the back here.
And he just plays out a rare
rare.
amount. Yeah, just to look for it. So I do survive.
Yeah.
And he's setting up his hand just because he's like, well, 8 cards. Have at it, Chief. And I was like, okay. Well, we do have a redirect live now.
Yeah.
Into Machine.
But you have Ice
I do have Iceclad.
So you don't really care about his Machine redirect stuff. And you can technically, you can swing tuck the Madoki back in here.
Right.
And unsuspend.
So I think we were thinking about the swing and thinking if I wanted to tuck the Madoki underneath, which I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it now. We do the 2 checks. We do survive. I just drop a Thomas, which I feel like, again, the conservative part of me is coming out. I probably could have just swung.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to hear it too, because it's like, well, in theory, if I did the other swings earlier and then I swung here, I probably could have just gone for game, right?
Yeah.
And now we see the chaos.
You would have forced him, if you had him at 1 security right now, you would have forced him to for sure have to block with that Machine last time and lose more sources.
Yeah.
And then you potentially could have bottom decked the Analog Man.
Right.
And everything else. So you would have just been at more advantage there.
And now he's just free reign to swing and go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Takes game 1.
Yeah, I think the only times that you really want to play super conservatively is usually against hybrid decks. I feel like I've found, because hybrid decks is like, if you don't, you can generate so much value for them by hitting their security. I guess it's kind of similar with like certain OTK decks as well, right? Like Luga, for example, too, is another example of this.
Sure, yeah.
Where if you're not able to win the game that you start chipping their security, you risk just knocking all the resources they need out of security. For Machine, they don't have that as much. There's not as much stuff in there that you need to worry about. Like, yes, you can hit Analog Man out, of course, but with your Hexaball attacks, you can kind of get around that. And like, putting Machine on a timer is always just a good thing to do. So
yeah. So we see Anthony be in a pretty rough spot here. You just have to start and pass. I'm able to set up and boost into a Mirage, which is always pretty good.
It's just hard drop MegaDramon here.
Just to get some more, just like cycle through top of the deck. Gigadra, yeah.
Apologies for the glare.
So here, Anthony was just like, he's like, the world's your oyster, good sir. So we go ahead and Wankun. We play out the beta to say that the Giga can't swing or can't attack next turn. We crack the boost, go into Mirage to bounce the Giga. Gain the memory off Inheritables and Mirage to go back up to 3. And here, once again, it's like, I can just swing. Like, I shouldn't be afraid to swing. And I think I am afraid. I go Z-Shui and then a training just to choke.
Okay.
So question for you, actually. And this might help me in my... Oh my goodness. Drop the Rapidity to give up Mirage. Yeah. If I were to swing with Mirage there, right, and I have the Wankun Inherit to tuck the beta, do I get jamming or do I not have jamming? Because it's a one attacking. I can tuck one into unsuspend.
Right, but it doesn't. It's not like that's not like jamming. It's like when attacking, you gain jamming. Jamming is just a keyword. Once it's in the stack, it's live.
Okay.
That's why you do the whole Wankun package. That's the whole idea. Is to consistently have, you're able to spit out your rookies that can either have on-play effects like the beta, and then you're able to just get jamming right back into the stack. You're not reliant on it. It doesn't really matter. We see you building a crazy board state here, though, which is really good.
Yeah.
Despite the sort of instant punish that you received by the Rapid, which is pretty tough. Because I think 9 times out of 10, you should just swing there. Just swing, do your chip. You'll have your jamming. You're chilling just fine. Because the other thing, too, is like Machine is a deck that loves to see a board that it can punish and put you behind.
Speaking of punish.
You are seeing good things. You are seeing good things. I mean, this is... It's worked out for you. it's partially because Anthony bricked, but it is working out for you so far. So you are able to bounce the rapid here, gain memory off of that. You have an insane board state set up right now. You will.
So we do decide to swing here. We see a blitz, which is not great.
Hit. Yeah, unfortunately.
Immediately punished. And I don't have another Mirage to go into, which is a little rough bears, but I have a Hexablow to get rid of the Tamer, which I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I will take that 9 times out of 10. And we just do the 2 checks. We don't use the effect. We do die because of a Death X. We training for 2. Pick up a Gao. And then go into Mach Gao just to bounce.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You got some good chip in there. You did hit like every possible security bomb you could have. So I guess it did work out that you didn't swing initially out the gate because you wouldn't have been able to stretch your plays as much.
Yeah.
So I still think probably most of the time you're better off swinging. But in this instance, it did end up working out. It was the right call.
I mean, I think for the players out there who are like either trying to learn or trying to see, I think this is like good, just like good, a learning experience, right? It's like a learning experience for me, and I've played the deck since like last year, August. Like I've been playing this deck like pretty much like all the time. So I mean, like it just goes to show that you're always learning, right? There's always like better plays you can do. Watching yourself play is definitely a great learning experience and something that you can learn from. And I hit another tie, which I'm not as worried about tie here. I care more about analog man. We just don't have stuff to utilize, but we have a Mach Gao. I think my thought process here was I have the unredirectable one. Even if he throws down a analog man or gets into a spot where he can, build a stack and have an analog out, I would set up for a unblockable, unredirectable Mach Gao and just like swing multiple checks was my thought process.
Yeah. You on the back. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's better just to leave that Gaogamon out there. Just let it like do its thing. It's done its job. There's no reason to like waste resources on that front stack if you're not going to keep trying to push aggression with it against Machine. We do see him go into the cast right here. Does Digivolve it down? We'll swing Gabu for a check.
Big guy. Dies.
Looks like he has what? Collision. If he's blocked, he gains some memory and then trash top 2 on Digimon. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And he does a rare just to get some cycle in.
Yeah. And I mean, this is pretty good for you. He doesn't have a blocker. There's no redirect here or anything like that. So you're in a good spot. You have plenty of memory. You have all your resources you need.
The only thing here is that if I can see my pieces, the only thing I think I would need to see, which we see it here, is that BT4 Thomas. Because here I can swing with Mach Gao with jamming. I don't care if I hit anything big or not because, I have jamming. Doesn't have a redirect, and I can just drop the Tamer for 3, use it to restand, and go for game.
And then swing, yeah. Okay. Nice. Go to game 3.
Go to game 3. But yeah, I think definitely some learning points for anybody looking to play Mirage is that if you're in a spot where you can go for aggression, like at this point in time, you might as well go for it. I feel like Mirage is a really, really good card, particularly BT11. It's just, there's no protections, right? Hexablow also doesn't have protections. Like, there are definitely ways to Digivolve it, pop it via DP reduction, pop it via effect. So like if it's out there, just get your full value out of it and just use it while you can.
Yeah, no, agreed. Fully agree. So we see you starting. You go ahead, you play training.
I feel like Otama doesn't have value. Yeah, so we just pick up another training.
I mean, I guess if he's Supreme Connections, that's the only time he really like reduces play cost. But we haven't seen Anthony even use it yet, so better just grab the training, get more resources for search and setup for you.
Yep. And here I end up picking the Gauga, and then we just go straight into a Gauga. Choke to 1.
So you can keep jamming in your stack as well, which is nice stuff. Just swing the Uko, does hit a Mirage out. We'll die, we'll pitch a level 5 or higher to draw 2.
Sir.
Just plays a Gabu. That's got a pretty decent board state set up for just early chip.
Yeah.
I mean, you're potentially looking at being at 1 security next turn if you're not too careful. You do see a
And
Zudo ace tier.
yeah, and that was my thought process too. I was just like, well, he could just chip me down without anything, which is scary. I didn't have a Mirage in hand. That was my issue, and I think the level 5s I had weren't ideal. It was just like I think 2 Zudo aces. So at that point, I'm like, well, like at least I can get rid of one body and lock down a body with Hexablow. Like I don't get a lot of value out of Hex that turn, but if he can't respond to it, I get 2 checks jamming, which is not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That Ragna being first card there, spooky.
Like, oh.
But I mean, Hexablow at least stalls.
Yeah, exactly.
For a little bit of time for you.
I don't love that Zudo's in the stack with how much deep Digivolve and like Blitz that he has that just like swing right over the guy with all the sources, but it was, I think, it was necessary. I like using Zudo more as an option as opposed to like something I build with.
Right.
But
on the back. Okay.
Yeah. So here I'm like, okay.
Put you at 1.
He was doing a very good job at choking me, and I didn't have any memory gain inheritables too, which was the rougher part. Because I'm like, well, he could easily just hard Evo now if I give him enough memory into his guy and cause me issues with Zudo Ace. And I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
What does one do?
Kind of thinking here.
So I do push up, I swing my 2 checks, and then I hit an analog youth. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate.
We do see him running one of the newer machines.
So in my hand here, I had a Macao, which I end up going into. I also considered just like hard evoing into burst mode and just bouncing the guy and having him just to like forcibly build up DP to swing over it and hope he didn't have a means of de-digivolving me. That was the other option. But I think the other option with burst mode would be a 5-cost evo, and I would only gain, I think, 1 memory, and that would set him to 3. And I'm like, with analog man, that's essentially 4. And
you got 11 cards in hand, so you would have bounced it. He would have gone to 12, so you would have gained 3 memory.
3 would put him to 2, which I mean it's the same scenario at that point.
Yeah, well, you would have put him to 1.
1
actually.
Maybe that.
Because you would have bounced the Gabu, and you were at 1 on your side. So he would have been put at 1.
And put at 1.
That's about it. But I mean, admittedly, you still don't keep turn, and your stacks, like, you lose out on the safety from Hexablow stopping things with less sources from swinging.
So here he does a crazy play. He does Blitz at a heavy mobile, plays out a Chimera. On play will delete itself.
Yeah.
Which then allows him to digicross a machine from hand. And then now he's able to like slip a ton of sources in and absolutely punish me. And we'll have Blitz, so we'll be able to swing over my guy.
Yeah.
Gains the overflow, trashes security because of rapid effect, and I'm like, oh my. I'm in trouble.
Okay. I thought I saw him grab sources from trash. I was confused for a second.
But Chimera is a really good card. For machine, really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff it can do. This is a pretty tough board state. Admittedly, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, you just need a BT13 Macao to ignore redirects, and you're in a pretty good spot.
Right. I need a Macao and I need a Thomas. I just wasn't seeing BT4 Thomas because I did end up cutting him to 2, and now I never see him. At 3, I was seeing him all the time. Now at 2, I never see him.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, the eternal struggle of ratios and deck building.
On the bright side, he can only swing. He's only got what? 2 checks there, realistically. He doesn't have sec +1 or anything like that. You drop a boost here. Grab a Mirage.
Yeah, and here I'm like, well, let's just try to give him as little memory as possible, while giving myself a little bit of insurance with the trainings and the boost, and hope that, either he hits the Thomas out of security, I draw into it, and give myself enough memory to play it out. And I didn't want to give him a body out on board either, because he's got the metal gray that allows you to like just punch something and then rapid with trash security.
Evo for 3 here. And Evo's Duco for 1. That's pretty good. Yeah,
that is pretty good. And he's threatening game next turn, so I'm like, well,
because the machine has blocker, which is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really needed to see a Thomas earlier, which it looks like you have some in hand. Looks like you have some of the memory to their Thomas, BT13 Thomas. You're able to evo and gain a memory here. You do have your mem boost, and you have another training, so you do have.
If I can see the unredirectable Mach-Gao, I win here. And a Thomas. I need those two pieces in hand to win. I just didn't. I don't think I had either.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough memory to keep turn with Mirage and Restand.
Does he have all turns DP boost?
I'm not sure.
No, right?
I don't think so. Or Jet Sylphie might, actually.
Jet Sylphie, I thought was just your turn.
Okay.
I'll double check, though. All turns plus 2k, yeah, so that is a 13k machine, so yeah, so that is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, so we go Huang-Kun here, play out the Betamon so that one of them can't swing. So we choose the Machinedramon with the bigger stack.
Yeah, pretty decent.
We go Gauga really just from more search.
Memory gain as well.
We go Mirage,
here.
We'll bounce security. We'll gain a couple memory off of that, I believe. And then I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I was like, I could hard evo into burst mode and maybe bounce one of the stacks and hope that I just live another turn. Because that's definitely a play, which I do end up doing, and I bounced the big stack. The other thing I was thinking about maybe was going into the like blocker Huang-Kun from BT19 that basically states that like you're a blocker and you can't be deleted in battle for the turn. But I was just like, like he's probably gonna find a way to either de-digivolve it or whatever. Like I don't think I have much use out of it.
Yeah.
Here.
There it is. We'll be able to de-digivolve 3, put you back down to that guy. Now that stack still can't swing though. It cannot attack, so we just play an analog.
And I'm like, what do I do?
No resources. You can stop yourself from being deleted by battle, but I don't think there's a means for you to keep turn.
No, there's no ways. No way for me to keep turn here. Again, my inheritables just don't really line up nicely for memory gain. I think that's the one sacrifice I made with like putting more jamming sources in my inherit lineup, where I just kind of sacrificed the consistency with like getting the stupid memory gain that Mirage is known for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, I'm in a tough spot. If I wanted to evo on top of Mirage, or on top of Huang-Kun into Mirage, I lose blocker, because it's not like this Digimon gets blocker. And I just go Gauga for 2, and I'm like, I probably lose, but let's just see what happens.
I mean, at least you're a blocker that can't be deleted by battle for the end of this turn. So,
and then he just de-digivolves me.
You still, I guess you do lose blocker, yeah.
Yeah.
So at least level 5 or lower, and then is able to.
Yeah, we're just clarifying like the effects, but like, yeah, I was just like, yeah, you got it. There's no way I come back from this.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I'm in a really, really strong showing from Tony here with his like machine build. Yeah, no, I mean, like, Chimera is a really good card, not to be slept on. And I think Machine only gets more and more support from what we've seen in some of the more recent leaks too. So, Chef be cooking. Chef be cooking.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And yeah, hopefully we catch ya on that next video. Bye-bye.